When you focus on yourself, you discover the power God placed inside you to change everything around you. I want you to let that sit with you for a moment, because in 2026, you are walking into a year that is not just about chasing more things, more people, more distractions, but about coming home to yourself. About finally saying, this is my time, this is my season, this is my life. I remember a time in my life when I was running everywhere, doing everything, trying to please everyone. And yet, in the middle of all that noise, I was lost. I wasn't clear about who I was, what I wanted, or what I stood for. And one day, someone looked me in the eye and said, Les, when was the last time you actually sat with yourself? When was the last time you truly focused on you? That question hit me hard, because the truth was, I was so busy pouring into others, I had nothing left for me. And I realized something. If you never stop to focus on yourself, you will spend your entire life being a background character in somebody else's movie. And I don't know about you, but in 2026, I want you to step into the role God created you for, the leading role in your own life. Take ownership of your story. See, the first step in focusing on yourself is taking ownership of your story. Too many people are walking around blaming their past, their circumstances, their family, their environment, their lack of opportunity. And listen, I'm not here to dismiss your pain. Some of you have been through storms that would have broken other people. You've been overlooked, doubted, abandoned, laughed at. You've been told you're not enough. But here's the truth. The things that tried to bury you were actually planting you. You are not a victim of your story. You are the author of your story. And the moment you take the pen back and decide, I will no longer let the past define me, I will let it refine me, is the moment your life begins to shift. I had to learn that. Growing up, I was labeled educable mentally retarded. That label could have been a prison for me. It could have been the thing I used as an excuse to stay small, to hide, to never try. But I made a decision. I said, no. This will not be the period at the end of my sentence. This will be the comma in my story. And when you focus on yourself in 2026, that's what you must do. Take all the pain, the failures, the disappointments, and instead of letting them cripple you, let them carve you into someone stronger, wiser, and bolder. Think about it. When you go to the gym, it's the resistance that builds the muscle. When life puts weight on you, it's not to break you. It's to build you. But only if you decide to own it, to rise from it, to say, this is my story, and I will not be ashamed of it. I will stand on it. I will use it as fuel. Take ownership of your story. Your story is the foundation of who you are. It is the soil where your roots grow, the canvas on which your life has been painted. And I want you to understand something very clearly. Until you take ownership of your story will own you. For too many years, I allowed my story to be defined by what others said about me. I carried the labels that society placed on my back, and I believed the whispers that said, you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you're not capable. And I know some of you listening to me right now have been carrying labels for far too long. Labels given to you by family, by teachers, by bosses, by people who had no idea of the greatness living inside of you. When I was in school, I was labeled educable mentally retarded. That label could have been a death sentence for my dreams. Imagine a young boy being told, not just once, but repeatedly, that he wasn't smart enough to achieve, that he wasn't capable of learning like everybody else. If I had allowed that label to stick, I would not be standing here speaking to you today. But I made a choice. I said to myself, this label is not the truth. It is just somebody's opinion. And opinions are not my reality. That was the first moment I began to take ownership of my story. Taking ownership doesn't mean your past didn't happen. It doesn't mean you deny the pain, the abuse, the rejection, or the failures. It means you refuse to let those moments define who you are becoming. There are people walking around right now who are imprisoned by memories. They replay old failures, old heartbreaks, old disappointments, as if they are watching the same movie on repeat. And the more they watch it, the more it becomes real to them. But you have to decide in 2026 that you are going to stop pressing rewind on your pain. You are going to stop letting your past control your present. You are going to stand up and say, yes, it happened. Yes, it hurt. But I survived it, and because I survived it, I am stronger than I have ever been. Listen to me. Everything you've been through has prepared you for where you are now. The betrayals prepared you to recognize loyalty. The failures prepared you to value success. The dark nights prepared you to appreciate the sunrise. Nothing in your life has been wasted. Not one tear. Not one heartbreak. Not one mistake. All of it is material that God will use to build the person you are meant to become. But you can't see that if you keep hiding from your story, if you keep pretending it never happened, or worse, if you keep blaming the world for it. There's a freedom that comes when you own your story. The moment you say, this is who I am, this is what I've walked through, and this is what I've learned, the chains of shame fall off. Some of you are living under the weight of secrets. You've been afraid to admit where you've been, afraid that people will judge you, afraid they will laugh at you or walk away from you. But the truth is, your transparency will become your transformation. When you stand boldly in your story, you give others permission to do the same. And suddenly, the very thing you thought would disqualify you becomes the thing that empowers others. I want you to think about this. You cannot heal what you do not face. And you cannot face what you are unwilling to own. In 2026, it is time to stop running from yourself. It is time to sit down, look at your life with honesty, and say, this is me. These are my scars. These are my victories. These are my lessons. And I am not ashamed of any of it. That is ownership. That is power. When you take ownership of your story, you also take back the pen that writes your future. Too many people have been living a script someone else wrote for them. Their parents' fears, their friends' doubts, society's expectations. Those became the lines they spoke every day. But you were not born to recite someone else's script. You were born to author your own. And 2026 is the year you begin writing with bold ink, unapologetically, courageously, and faithfully. So let me ask you, are you ready to own it? Are you ready to stand tall and declare, I am more than my past, greater than my struggles, stronger than my failures. I am the author of my story, and I will not let anyone else hold the pen, because the moment you decide that, your entire life begins to change. Ownership is the key. And once you have it, no one, not your past, not your critics, not even your fears, can take it away from you. Build unstoppable self-belief. If there is one thing that will determine the course of your life in 2026, it is the belief you carry about yourself. Hear me on this. People don't fail because they don't have talent. They don't fail because they don't have resources. They fail because they don't believe in themselves enough to keep going. The mind is the battlefield, and the loudest voice you will ever hear is not the voice of your critics, not the voice of your haters, not even the voice of your family. It is the voice you hear when you're alone with yourself. And the question is, what is that voice saying to you? Is it telling you that you're capable, that you're chosen, that you're powerful? Or is it whispering that you're not enough, that you'll never make it, that you don't have what it takes? I remember when I first started speaking, I was terrified. My hands would shake, my throat would tighten, and I would think to myself, what am I doing here? Nobody wants to hear from me. Who am I to inspire anybody? That voice of doubt was loud, and every time I got ready to speak, it tried to paralyze me. But you know what I discovered? That voice of doubt never really goes away. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not the absence of fear or doubt. It's the decision to believe in yourself anyway. It's the choice to say, I hear the fear, but I choose to believe in my gift. I hear the doubt, but I choose to believe in my calling. I hear the criticism, but I choose to believe in the vision God placed in my heart. And that's what unstoppable self-belief looks like. It's not arrogance. It's not pretending that you never get scared. It's not walking around thinking you're better than everyone else. No. Unstoppable belief is humble. It's rooted. It's saying, I know who I am, I know whose I am, and I know what I've been put here to do. And no matter what comes against me, I will not back down. Let me tell you something, the world will test your belief. Circumstances will rise up that seem impossible. People you love may doubt you. Doors you thought would open will slam in your face. And in those moments, your belief will be the only thing that keeps you standing. Self-belief is the fuel that gets you back up when life knocks you down. Without it, you'll quit. With it, you'll rise again and again until you win. Think about a child learning to walk. They stumble, they fall, they cry, but they get back up. Why? Because deep down, without even having the words for it, they believe they were made to walk. That same instinct is in you. You were made for greatness. You were created to rise, to overcome, to shine. But somewhere along the way, people talked you out of that belief. They told you to be realistic, to settle, to stop dreaming so big. And if you listen long enough, you start to shrink to fit their comfort zone. But I'm here to tell you in 2026, no more shrinking, no more doubting, no more giving in to other people's fears. This is the year you build a belief in yourself so strong that nothing and no one can shake it. Self-belief is built the same way a muscle is built. Through repetition, through resistance, through consistency. You don't go to the gym one time and expect to be strong. No, you go again and again, even when it hurts, even when you're tired, even when you don't feel like it. And over time, you get stronger. The same is true for belief. Every time you affirm yourself, when doubt creeps in, you're building that muscle. Every time you take a step forward, when fear is screaming at you to stop, you're building that muscle. Every time you refuse to quit, you're building that muscle. And one day, you'll look back and realize that the very things that used to scare you don't even faze you anymore. So I want you to imagine yourself in 2026 standing in front of a mirror. And I want you to look at yourself, not with the eyes of fear, not with the eyes of insecurity, but with the eyes of faith. I want you to see someone who is capable of achieving greatness, someone who is worthy of love and success, someone who has been equipped with everything necessary to win. And I want you to say out loud, I believe in me. I may not have it all figured out yet. I may not be where I want to be yet, but I believe in me. And as long as I keep believing, I will keep moving forward. That is how you build unstoppable self-belief. Not by waiting for everyone else to clap for you. Not by waiting for life to get easier. But by deciding every single day that you are worth fighting for. And when you carry that belief, doors will open, opportunities will come, and even when they don't, you will create them. Because unstoppable belief doesn't wait for permission. It moves with conviction. And when you move with conviction, mountains move with you. Develop the courage to act. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is the decision to move forward in spite of fear. In 2026, if you want to focus on yourself and transform your life, you must develop the courage to act. Not tomorrow, not someday, but now. Too many people are sitting on dreams, waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect opportunity, the perfect circumstances. And let me tell you something. There is no perfect moment. The stars will not line up for you. Life will not pause and make things convenient for you. If you're waiting for the fear to disappear, you will wait forever. Courage is about standing in the middle of fear and saying, even though I am scared, I will move anyway. I remember the first time I stepped on stage to speak to an audience. My knees were trembling. My heart was racing so loud, I thought people could hear it. My palms were sweating. Fear was screaming at me. You're not ready, you're not good enough, you don't belong here. But another voice, a quieter one, whispered, Les, you can't stay where you are. You have to move. And I made a decision to walk on that stage, fear and all. And the moment I opened my mouth, I felt something shift. It wasn't that the fear vanished. It's that my courage got stronger. That moment taught me something powerful. Courage is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Courage is not just about public speaking or chasing big dreams. Sometimes courage is about making tough decisions in your personal life. Sometimes it's about leaving a toxic relationship. Sometimes it's about quitting a job that's crushing your spirit. Sometimes it's about standing up for yourself when it would be easier to stay silent. And yes, sometimes it's about saying no to people you love, because you need to say yes to yourself. All of those require courage. And without it, you'll spend your life stuck in places that drain you, surrounded by people who don't value you, and living far beneath the potential that God has placed within you. I want you to think about this. How many dreams have been buried in graveyards because someone lacked the courage to act? How many books were never written, businesses never started, inventions never created, songs never sung, because someone listened to fear and said, not me, not now, not ever. The graveyard is the richest place on earth, not because of what people took with them, but because of what they left behind. And I refuse to let you leave your gifts behind in 2026. You must develop the courage to put your gift out into the world. Courage does not guarantee that you will succeed every time. No, courage means you will fail sometimes. You will stumble. You will make mistakes. You will fall flat on your face. But hear me on this, failure is not final. Failure is feedback. Failure is simply life saying, or is another way, try again. And every time you act with courage, even in failure, you grow stronger. You gain wisdom. You gain resilience. You discover parts of yourself you never knew existed. People often ask me, Luz, what if I take the leap and I fall? And I tell them, what if you take the leap and you fly? See, fear will always show you the worst case scenario. Fear will always magnify the danger, the embarrassment, the rejection. But courage allows you to imagine the best case scenario. Courage allows you to say, what if it works? What if I succeed? What if this is the moment that changes everything? And that what if is worth taking the risk. In 2026, you cannot afford to sit on the sidelines of your own life. This is not the year for hesitation. This is not the year for waiting until you feel ready. You must act, and act boldly, because nothing happens until you move. You can dream all day, you can plan for years, but until you take action, nothing changes. The door of opportunity only opens to those who knock, and courage is the hand that does the knocking. So ask yourself right now, what action have you been putting off? What dream have you been postponing? What decision have you been avoiding because fear has been whispering in your ear? I dare you. No, I challenge you. to step into it this year. Even if you're trembling, even if your voice shakes, even if your knees wobble, step into it. Because on the other side of that fear is the life you've been praying for. Developing courage doesn't mean you won't feel scared in 2026. It means you'll finally understand that fear is not your enemy. Fear is a compass. Fear points you in the direction of your growth. Wherever you feel fear, that's exactly where you need to go. And when you go there, when you step into that fire, you'll discover you're stronger than you ever believed. Courage is not for the chosen few. Courage is for you. And the moment you decide to act, to take that step, to trust yourself, you will unleash a power inside of you that has been waiting all along. The courage to act will not only transform your life, it will inspire everyone who sees you to rise with courage too. Master the power of discipline. Discipline is the bridge between your dreams and your reality. You can dream as big as you want. You can visualize success every day. You can talk about what you want until your throat goes dry. But without discipline, it will all remain in your imagination. Discipline is the quiet force that separates those who wish from those who achieve, those who talk from those who do, those who hope from those who live it. In 2026, if you want to focus on yourself and rise into the life you've been called to live, you must master the power of discipline. I'll tell you something I had to learn the hard way. Talent will only get you so far. Inspiration will only carry you for a moment. Motivation will ignite you, but discipline is what sustains you. How many times have people gotten excited at the beginning of a new year, full of energy, making resolutions, setting goals, and then by February they've quit? Why? Not because they didn't want it, not because they weren't capable, but because they didn't have the discipline to stay consistent when the excitement wore off. Discipline is doing what you said you were going to do long after the mood you set it in has left you. Think about an athlete. They don't train only when they feel like it. They train every day, rain or shine, sick or tired, motivated or unmotivated. Why? Because they understand something. Most people ignore. Feelings are unreliable, but habits are powerful. Discipline builds habits, and habits build destiny. If you want to change your life in 2026, you can't rely on feelings. You must build habits that carry you through the days you don't feel like showing up. There was a time in my own life when discipline was my biggest weakness. I wanted the results, but not the routine. I wanted the fruit, but not the labor. And I found myself stuck, frustrated, watching others succeed and asking, why not me? But then I realized it wasn't because they were smarter or luckier or better connected. It was because they were consistent. They showed up day after day, hour after hour, refusing to let excuses run their lives. Once I embraced discipline, everything began to shift. I became intentional with my time. I became consistent with my habits, and slowly but surely the results began to show. Discipline is not punishment. Discipline is freedom. Freedom from regret, freedom from wasted potential, freedom from living a life that feels empty. The undisciplined person is a slave to distractions, impulses, and emotions. The disciplined person, on the other hand, is free to create, free to grow, free to become everything they're meant to be. And this is where most people get it wrong. They think discipline means you're losing something, that you're giving up fun or comfort. No. Discipline is an investment. Every small act of discipline compounds into a bigger reward later. The pain of discipline weighs ounces, but the pain of regret weighs tons. In 2026, I want you to ask yourself, what do you want more? The comfort of now or the success of tomorrow? Because you can't have both. Every time you choose comfort over discipline, you're delaying your future. Every time you procrastinate, every time you make excuses, Every time you give in to distraction, you're pushing your dream further away. But every time you choose discipline, every time you get up early, every time you practice your craft, every time you say no to what doesn't serve you, you're pulling your dream closer. And here's the truth: discipline isn't glamorous. Nobody claps for you when you wake up at 5 a.m. to work on your goals. Nobody celebrates you for saying no to the party so you can study, or for putting in extra hours while others are sleeping. But one day, the results will speak for you. One day, the fruit of your discipline will shine so bright that people will ask, "How did you do it?" And you'll know the answer: discipline. Discipline will test you. It will demand sacrifice. It will push you to your limits. But if you embrace it, it will reward you with a life far greater than the one comfort could ever give you. The undisciplined person spends their life chasing shortcuts and ends up going in circles. The disciplined person walks the hard road, but that road leads to freedom, success, and peace of mind. So in 2026, I challenge you to commit to discipline like never before. Don't just set goals, build habits. Don't just get excited. Get consistent. Don't just talk about it, be about it. Because discipline is the proof of your desire. If you truly want it, you'll show it in the way you show up daily. Remember this: discipline is not about being perfect. It's about being persistent. You may stumble, you may fall, you may miss a day, but get back up, recommit, and keep moving. Every step you take with discipline is a step closer to the life you've imagined. And when you look back at 2026, I want you to say with pride, "I mastered discipline, and because of that, I mastered myself." Protect your energy and environment. Your energy is your life force. It is the fuel that drives everything you do. And in 2026, if you want to focus on yourself and create the life you deserve, you must protect your energy and environment with everything you have. Too many people are walking around drained, not because they don't have potential, not because they don't have talent, but because they are leaking energy into the wrong people, the wrong places, and the wrong habits. Your environment either feeds you or it bleeds you. And if you don't take control of it, you will find yourself empty, tired, and unable to rise into your purpose. I want you to think about this: you are like a battery. Every conversation, every relationship, every decision either charges you or drains you. Some of you know exactly what I'm talking about. You've been around people who leave you feeling exhausted, who take and never give, who criticize every idea, who laugh at your dreams. You walk away from them feeling smaller, weaker, and more doubtful than when you arrived. And then there are others who lift you, who inspire you, who make you believe more, dream bigger, and push harder. You walk away from them feeling lighter, stronger, and more alive. The difference is energy. And in 2026, you must make a decision. Who are you going to allow to plug into your life? I remember a season in my life where I surrounded myself with people who didn't believe in me. They weren't bad people, but they were limited people. And because they were limited, they put their limits on me. Every time I talked about my dreams, they would shake their heads and say, "Be realistic. Don't get your hopes up. That's not possible." And for a while, I listened. I shrank my vision to fit their comfort zone. I started doubting myself. And the more I listened, the weaker I became. Until one day I realized, if I keep surrounding myself with people who drain me, I will never rise into who I'm meant to be. And I had to make a hard choice to distance myself from voices that discouraged me and to move closer to voices that empowered me. That decision changed everything. Protecting your energy doesn't just mean guarding against toxic people. It also means guarding against toxic habits. How much time do you spend scrolling mindlessly on your phone? How much energy do you waste worrying about things you can't control? How much of your mental space is consumed with negativity, gossip, or comparing yourself to others? Every one of those things is an energy leak. They rob you of the focus, strength, and clarity you need to grow. And if you don't fix those leaks, it doesn't matter how much potential you have. You'll always run on empty. I want you to picture yourself as a garden. Whatever you plant and whatever you allow into that soil will grow. If you surround yourself with weeds, don't be surprised when your flowers can't bloom. If you pour poison into your soil, don't wonder why your garden withers. But if you nurture your soil with positivity, if you protect it from weeds, if you water it with consistency and surround it with sunlight, your garden will thrive. Your life works the same way. Protect your soil, protect your garden, protect your environment, because everything in your life grows from it. Now, protecting your energy will require courage. Some of you will have to let go of friendships that no longer serve your future. Some of you will have to distance yourself from family members who mean well, but constantly discourage you. Some of you will have to cut off habits that feel comfortable, but are killing your progress. And it will hurt. It will feel lonely at times. But understand this, isolation is not always punishment. Sometimes it is preparation. God will separate you in order to strengthen you. And when you come out of that season, you will attract people and opportunities that match your new energy. In 2026, I want you to walk into every room asking yourself, does this feed me or does it bleed me? Does this environment push me higher or pull me lower? Does this person add to my vision or subtract from it? And if the answer is subtraction, you have a decision to make. Because your future depends on your ability to protect your energy like your life depends on it. Because it does. When you protect your energy, something powerful happens, your focus sharpens, your creativity grows, your confidence rises. You stop being tossed around by negativity and start standing firm in your purpose. And that's when you become unstoppable. Protecting your energy isn't selfish, it's necessary. Because the world needs your gift, your family needs your strength, your future needs your focus. And you cannot give any of that if you are constantly drained. So in 2026, make it your mission, guard your energy, curate your environment, and choose wisely who and what you allow into your space. Because when you protect your energy, you protect your destiny. And nothing, no distraction, no toxic person, no draining habit will be able to stop you from becoming who you were always meant to be. Embrace growth through struggle. Struggle is not a sign that you are failing. Struggle is a sign that you are growing. Too often, we look at the challenges in our lives and think, why me? Why is this happening? Why is it so hard? But the truth is, the struggle is shaping you. The struggle is preparing you. The struggle is carving out the strength, resilience, and wisdom you will need for the next chapter of your life. In 2026, if you want to truly focus on yourself and rise into your purpose, you must stop running from the struggle and instead embrace it as a teacher. I'll never forget a moment early in my life when everything seemed to go wrong. I was broke. I was discouraged, and I felt like the weight of the world was on my shoulders. Every time I tried to move forward, something knocked me back. I started to wonder if maybe the critics were right, if maybe I wasn't good enough, if maybe the labels they put on me as a child would always define me. But it was in that season of struggle that I discovered something powerful. You don't know how strong you are until being strong is the only option you have. Struggle forces you to dig deeper. It forces you to find a strength you didn't know you had. It forces you to grow in ways comfort never could. Comfort will keep you the same. Struggle will transform you. You don't build muscle by lifting feathers. You build it by lifting heavy weights that push your body to its limits. In the same way, you don't build character, wisdom, or resilience in the easy seasons. You build it in the storms, in the losses, in the nights when you feel like giving up, but you keep going anyway. I know some of you are walking through struggles right now. Financial struggles, relationship struggles, health struggles, struggles in your mind, in your spirit, in your career. And you're tempted to believe that your struggle means you're being punished, that you're being overlooked, that life is against you. But let me tell you something. The struggle is not the end of your story. The struggle is the fire that is refining you. Diamonds are formed under pressure. Gold is purified by fire. And greatness is birthed in struggle. When you embrace struggle, you stop asking, why me? And you start asking, what is this teaching me? That shift changes everything. Instead of being crushed by the weight, you start getting stronger under it. Instead of being bitter, you become better. Instead of breaking, you begin building. Every hardship carries within it a lesson. And if you lean into it, that lesson will equip you for the next level of your journey. Think about the stories that inspire us the most. They are never stories of people who had it easy. They are stories of people who faced incredible obstacles, devastating setbacks, heartbreaking losses, and still rose. Still fought. Still overcame. Why? Because the struggle gave them something ease never could. It gave them grit. It gave them vision. It gave them fire. And that same fire is being lit in you right now through your struggles. In 2026, I don't want you to avoid struggle. I want you to embrace it. Because if you avoid struggle, you avoid growth. If you avoid growth, you avoid transformation. And if you avoid transformation, you avoid destiny. Struggle is not your enemy. Struggle is your ally. It's not there to destroy you, it's there to develop you. Yes, the struggle hurts. Yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes, there are nights when the tears won't stop, when the fear feels overwhelming, when quitting feels easier. But I promise you this, if you hold on, if you keep pressing, if you refuse to give up in the struggle, you will come out stronger, wiser, and more powerful than you ever imagined. And when you do, you'll look back and realize that the struggle wasn't a curse. It was the very thing that birthed the best version of you. So in 2026, when you face resistance, when life tests you, when challenges show up, I want you to remind yourself, this is not here to stop me. This is here to grow me. And instead of running from the struggle, I want you to lean into it with courage. Because when you embrace growth through struggle, you unlock a strength that nothing and no one can ever take away. Strengthen your mindset daily. The most powerful tool you have is not your body, not your money, not your circumstances. It is your mind. Your mindset is the lens through which you see the world and the lens through which you see yourself. In 2026, if you are going to focus on yourself and create a life of purpose and success, you must strengthen your mindset every single day. Not once in a while, not when you feel like it. Every single day. Because your mind is either working for you or against you. And the way you train, it will decide the kind of life you live. I remember reading once that the average person has thousands of thoughts each day, and most of those thoughts are the same ones they had yesterday. If those thoughts are negative, if they're filled with doubt, fear, and limitations, then those thoughts will shape a negative life. If those thoughts are empowering, uplifting, and rooted in possibility, they will shape a life of abundance. That's how powerful your mindset is. It literally builds your reality. I want you to think about this. Your mind is like a garden. Whatever you plant, it will grow. If you plant seeds of doubt, fear, and limitation, that's what will rise up in your life. If you plant seeds of faith, courage, and determination. That's what will flourish. The problem is, most people are not intentional about what they plant. They let the world, the media, and the voices of others scatter weeds into their garden. And then they wonder why they feel stuck, why they can't see possibilities, why their life isn't moving forward. You cannot leave your mindset unattended. You have to strengthen it daily, just like you would exercise a muscle. How do you do that? By feeding it with what empowers you, by speaking words of affirmation over yourself when doubt tries to creep in, by reading, listening, and surrounding yourself with voices that remind you of who you really are and what you're capable of, by choosing to focus on what's possible rather than what's impossible, by refusing to let fear have the final say. Every day you get a choice. Feed your faith or feed your fear. And whichever one you feed will grow stronger. I can tell you from personal experience, strengthening your mindset daily is not optional if you want to rise above the noise. Because life will test you. People will doubt you. Circumstances will challenge you. And if your mindset isn't strong, you will crumble under the pressure. But when your mindset is strong, no matter what happens around you, you will still stand tall inside. You will still believe when others say it's impossible. You will still fight when quitting looks easier. You will still see light when others only see darkness. Strengthening your mindset doesn't mean you never feel fear, doubt, or discouragement. It means when those things come, and they will, you have the strength to overcome them instead of being overcome by them. It means you know how to silence the voice of negativity and amplify the voice of possibility. It means you know how to take control of your thoughts before they take control of you. One of the most powerful truths I've learned is this: your life will never rise higher than the level of your thinking. You can have all the talent, all the opportunities, all the resources in the world. But if your mind is weak, it will sabotage you every time. On the other hand, you can come from nothing. You can face incredible obstacles. You can start at the bottom. But if your mindset is strong, you will rise. You will find a way. You will turn every setback into a setup for a comeback. In 2026, I want you to make a commitment to yourself every day. Strengthen your mind. Start your mornings with intention. Fill your mind with something uplifting, whether it's prayer, meditation, affirmations, reading, or listening to motivational messages. Guard your thoughts throughout the day. Don't let negativity take root. End your nights with reflection, gratitude, and vision for tomorrow. Treat your mindset like the foundation of your life, because it is. And here's the beautiful thing. The more you strengthen your mindset, the more unstoppable you become. Fear loses its grip on you. Doubt loses its power. Circumstances lose their control because you've trained your mind to see beyond the obstacles, to focus on the possibilities, and to keep moving forward no matter what. That's the power of a strong mindset. So in 2026, let it be said of you, you didn't just drift through life with a passive mind. You trained it. You sharpened it. You strengthened it daily until it became unshakable. And because your mind was strong, your life became strong. Strengthen your mindset daily, and you will build a future no circumstance can destroy. Take bold, consistent action. Dreams are beautiful. Plans are necessary. Vision is powerful. But none of it means anything without action. In 2026, if you are going to focus on yourself and rise into the life you desire, you must move beyond thinking about it, beyond talking about it, beyond waiting for the perfect time. You must take